There's a hunger inside you, a constant pull towards something more. More success, more love, more freedom, more proof that you matter. But the more you chase, the more it hurts. And that's because what you're chasing can never give you what you're really looking for. Most people live their entire lives in pursuit, always reaching, always waiting for the next thing to make them feel whole. We tell ourselves, just a little more money, just a better relationship, just one more achievement. And for a moment, it feels like we're getting closer, like something outside of us will finally complete the emptiness inside, like the next thing will finally silence the ache. But the satisfaction doesn't last, because desire is a moving target. The moment you reach it, it moves again. And that's the trap, the endless chase. The ego feeds on dissatisfaction. It needs you to believe that peace is always out of reach. It convinces you that happiness is just one step away, as long as you keep running. But the truth is, you are not chasing what you want. You are running from what you fear. Silence, stillness, the unbearable space inside you, where nothing is happening, and yet everything is felt. That's what you're really avoiding, because in that stillness, you would have to face yourself, without roles, without accomplishments, without distraction. You would have to feel the rawness beneath the noise, the grief that was never processed, the questions you buried, the unworthiness you never dared to name. And so you run, not because you're weak, but because you've been taught that stillness is failure, that doing nothing is being nothing. But it's a lie. Stillness is not emptiness. It is truth, unmasked, and the ego is terrified of it. The ancient mystics were not against desire. They simply saw it clearly. They understood that desire is a language. But most people misinterpret what it's saying. They knew that desire is not evil, but it is a mirror. It reflects what you believe you lack. And most of what we desire isn't freedom. It's distraction, a way to numb the ache we've never stopped to examine. A temporary escape from the unbearable truth that we have forgotten who we are. Desire pulls us outward. It scatters the soul across 1,000 imagined futures. It promises relief, but only delivers delay. You begin to live in anticipation instead of embodiment. Your life becomes a waiting room for peace. In Buddhism, they call this tanha, the craving that binds you to suffering, not because the object is wrong, but because the attachment defines your reality. The tighter you hold to what you think you need, the more your suffering multiplies. In Hermetic thought, desire is the lower fire, the spark of the ego, always burning but never fulfilled. It rises from the personality, not the essence, and so it consumes instead of nourishes. The soul longs for light, but the ego burns for smoke. And too often we chase what dims us in the name of expansion. Even in Gnostic texts, the soul is seen as trapped in a world of illusion, forgetting that its origin is stillness, not striving. The pursuit becomes a prison, and the more you desire, the further you drift from the truth. Because stillness is not emptiness. It is presence. It is full awareness without hunger. It is what remains when all masks fall. It is the sacred space between wanting and becoming, where nothing needs to be added for the moment to feel complete. And when you touch that space, the hunger quiets, not because you have everything, but because you remember. You already are. You remember that the soul needs no proof. It does not measure itself in progress or productivity. It is not impressed by goals. It only longs to be, fully, openly, and now. The soul doesn't want more. It wants wholeness. It wants reunion with the real. It wants stillness not as silence, but as sacred presence. Desire says, "You are not enough yet." Stillness whispers, "You always were." And in that whisper, the fire softens, not extinguished, but transmuted. It becomes devotion instead of grasping, creation instead of craving. Stillness doesn't kill desire. It purifies it. So how do you begin? You stop running. Not all at once, not perfectly, but gently, deliberately. In the moments that matter, you begin by noticing the ache. That familiar tightening in your chest, that restless scrolling, that subtle panic that rises when things go quiet. You pause. You let the ache be there. You stop trying to outrun the emptiness. You stop filling every silence with noise. You stop turning your discomfort into another task. You sit with the feeling of not enough, and you don't try to fix it. You don't dress it up in affirmations. You don't drown it in distractions. You just witness it, as if it were a child who has been crying for years. And you finally turned around to listen, and slowly, the illusion begins to fade. You realize the pain wasn't in the lack. It was in the chase, the constant pursuit that kept you spinning, further and further away from yourself. Because every time you run from the moment, you abandon yourself. You abandon the part of you that is already whole, already aware, already free. But when you stay, even when it's quiet, even when nothing is happening, you begin to return to your soul. You return to the place that doesn't need to prove itself, to the inner stillness that isn't waiting for anything, that simply is. And from that stillness, something ancient begins to awaken. You stop craving and start creating. You stop reaching and start remembering. You stop performing and start becoming. You begin to feel the subtle difference between striving and moving with purpose, between needing and knowing. Stillness doesn't mean passivity. It means presence. It means living from your center instead of your edges. The ego feeds on movement. It wants momentum at any cost. It will drag you from one identity to the next, just to avoid sitting still with the truth. But the soul awakens in silence. It opens in the space between breath and thought, in the quiet, in the pause, in the sacred nothing that modern life tells you to fear. Stillness is not the absence of life. It is the return to it. And from that place, you don't need more. You don't need to chase. You only need to remember what you've always known. That peace doesn't come from getting what you want. It comes from no longer needing to. You will always want more, until you return to the place within you that needs nothing, no validation, no recognition, no finish line, The world will keep whispering that you are not enough, that you must do more, earn more, become more. But your soul is not here to chase. It is here to remember, to return, to rest in the quiet, knowing that who you are is already whole. Desire feeds the ego, but stillness feeds the soul. And the soul, once nourished, no longer hungers. It simply shines. Arcane Praxis, wisdom for the ones who see deeper, and the ones who are ready to come home.